Alright guys, we are back with more Game of Thrones. This is Season 7, Episode 2, and we have so many things going on right now. I'm very curious how Daenerys will move forward with her strategy. What will her advisors tell her to do? She's allied with Highgarden, and she has to know Cersei needs it to survive the oncoming winter, so personally that's where I would head. And does she bring all three dragons with her everywhere, or does she set them up separately in key locations to defend them? We've heard that Targaryens or Valyrians were able to ride dragons, and the Valyrians are gone, and the only people with Targaryen blood that I know of left are her, Daenerys, Jon Snow, freaking son of Rhaegar and Lyanna, and we know that Robert Baratheon had a bit of Targaryen blood, so Gendry, he has a shot of riding a dragon too, I'm guessing. It's a shame that all the dragons are male, or they could make more dragons, but I wonder if there are any more eggs out there. And I'm also curious about the lifespan of dragons. Are these going to be the last dragons ever? Well, I don't know. Anyway, I also really want to see where the whole story with Arya is going, heading to King's Landing to take out Cersei. That's gonna be badass. Jorah is in Old Town. I'm hoping he can get somebody to treat his grayscale. Daenerys needs him by her side. And I'm curious about Euron's gift to Cersei. I feel like if this was a full-length season, it might be another episode or two before we find out what it is. But because it's shorter, I feel like we might find out this episode. Without further ado, if you want to watch along with the full reaction on Patreon with the footage, check that out in the link in the description below. But otherwise, we're going to get started right here.
You wish to know where my true loyalties lie? Not with any king or queen, but with the people. I choose you. Because I know the people have no better chance than you.
Don't know about Jon Snow, though.
You chose an auspicious day to arrive at Dragonstone. We've just decided to pardon those who once served the wrong king. That noun has no gender in High Valyrian, so the proper translation for that prophecy would be the prince or princess who was promised will bring the dawn.
Doesn't really roll off the tongue.
I believe you have a role to play. As does another. The king in the north.
Jon Snow.
Jon Snow?
Yeah, he didn't know.
Ned Stark's bastard. But I like Jon Snow, and I trusted him. And I am an excellent judge of character.
That was 6 years ago, though.
If he does rule the north, he would make a valuable ally.
But Aerys killed his grandfather and uncle.
That his queen invites him to come to Dragonstone.
His queen.
And bend the knee.
That's a little confrontational to start with.
All dwarves are bastards in their father's eyes.
What
does that mean?
That's what he said to him.
It's something he said to me the first night we met.
Randall frickin' Tarly.
He has 3 full-grown dragons, Your Grace.
Are they full-grown?
The Queen will need a new Warden of the South. I can think of no better man than Randall Tarly.
But he's the worst.
The infection
Sam
spread
Tarly.
too far. Valerion the Dread.
The one Aegon?
Priest that Aegon rode across the sea. His flames forged the Iron Throne.
It's
And
huge.
brought the 7 kingdoms to heel.
Well, it's been around for a very long time. Surely it's brittle? I don't know.
I know how you wage war. We don't poison little girls here.
Marcella was innocent.
She was a Lannister. There are no innocent Lannisters.
I am not here to be Queen of the Ashes.
Using his words.
That's very nice to hear.
It's Casterly Rock. Grey Worm and the Unsullied will sail for the rock and take it.
Okay. I don't know if that's smart, though.
Are you a sheep? No. You're a dragon. Be a dragon.
I will see you when I return.
But you don't know when that will be.
Aw. You're gonna leave without
No one
saying
knows.
goodbye? Whoa, 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 whoa.
Sunday,
I love you. No, I'm
you
just
are my weakness.
That's what I am. Your weakness.
kidding.
I meet Miss Sunday from the Isle of Knot.
Now, I have fear.
He turned it around. He was afraid he messed up. Nope. Daenerys walks in right now.
I want to see you. Please.
Oh, man. Oh.
Could take off your shirt.
You gotta peel it? Oh, God. This is... Oh.
Never done this before.
No. I'm the only shot you've got.
No one else will try it, so I'm the best you've got.
Oh my god. Seriously, how are you expecting him to...
Again, I'm sorry.
Oh god. He's gonna have a heart attack from... Oh, holy crap. That sound. Man, Sam has the most disgusting scenes. Oh, I thought that was still the
Say our dragons are bigger than Egos.
Oh shit.
Harry!
Harry?
Hello, Hot Pie. Sit down.
Hot Pie!
The Lady Knight? Yeah, I figured she was a knight because she had armor on. Even for your sister, I told her about you. Jon Snow came down from Castle Black with a Wilding army and won the Battle of the Bastards. He's king of the North now.
Yeah.
You're lying.
What
No.
about that? I can't believe I thought you were a boy. You're pretty.
Aww.
Thanks.
Going home.
And I'm going to accept.
Ooh, not a popular decision.
We need this dragon glass, my lord.
He has to do this. He has to make so many unpopular decisions.
You're abandoning your people. You're abandoning your home.
I'm leaving both in good hands.
Whose?
Yours.
Oh, Littlefinger. What is he thinking? Oh, Brienne. We saw like a tiny bit of like two frames of her smiling, and then.
Father and brothers are gone, yet here you stand, king in the north. Last best hope against the coming storm.
The withering glare.
I have nothing to say to you.
Sold my sister.
Not even thank you.
Really?
For me, you'd have been slaughtered on that battlefield.
That's true.
I loved Sansa, as I loved her mother.
Oh, Melisandre is with Daenerys. Davos is gonna run into her again. Oh man. And they never saw each other again. I swear, if that happens, I'm gonna cry. What is the horse afraid of? Are you not freaked out by your horse being freaked out? Wolves. Okay, that's a dire wolf.
Nymeria?
What? It's been 6 seasons. They were only together for a year, or less than a year.
Come with me.
Gloves. Can you get the gloves for me, Nymeria? Nymeria, gloves.
Mama. Maybe I'll kill you both before we take King's Landing. And then I won't have to share.
Mama!
Oh my god.
Could we get some more?
Thought you didn't like it.
Wasn't for you.
I'm developing a taste for it.
He's not your servant.
It's fine.
Your protector. Why are you standing all the way over there then?
Oh man.
Foreign invasion is underway.
Wow.
Leave him be. Seems like you don't need a protector.
Look at that. Nymeria! Nice job, Tyene. Ooh! Ow. Jeez. Cut him, tear him to shreds. No, god damn. Colleen, no! Theon, where are you? What the heck? What the hit? Oh, god damn it.
I have her. Come and get her.
He's gonna cut her throat. Oh, it's over. What the hell? He's breaking again. Damn it. Is that Nymeria hanging by her whip? Damn it. Alright guys, so after Ed Sheeran last episode, I'm glad we didn't have like Shakira belly dancing her way through this episode. It wouldn't have been too bad, would have just been out of place. The title of this episode is Stormborn, which I think is very fitting. We start at Dragonstone, where Daenerys is hatching her plans and testing Varys' intentions and loyalties in the middle of a storm. So you could say their partnership is Stormborn. Another thing that could be is Euron's alliance with Cersei. Like, it wasn't a physical storm with rain and lightning, but the fire raining down was kind of like a firestorm, and he did storm Yara's ships. I'm kind of reaching, but yeah, we start with Daenerys meeting with her advisor, saying out loud that the people don't care who's in charge, and that Viserys believes that they toasted to his return, and that he was stupid for believing that. But yeah, I really love that interaction between Daenerys and Varys, testing his loyalty. He did try to have her killed when she was pregnant with Rhaego, and so he has a lot to answer for. But the deal they come up with is actually pretty good. As long as she looks out for her subjects, she will have his undying loyalty. And if she starts to fail the people, he will tell her to her face. But I feel like her advisors actually aren't all that shy when talking about how she's failed. I think they're more than willing to call her out when she does something that's a little too cruel or not smart. And she actually tends to listen a lot. So it's not a bad deal. Wish we had many Varyses in our government. No violence, but get people out who aren't looking out for the right people, for the people at large. But then Daenerys has a meeting with Melisandre, and of all the places to come, yeah, she arrives essentially right after Daenerys does, and Missandei lets us know that the prince who is promised, that phrase, can actually be translated as the prince or princess who is promised. So the term is gender neutral in Valyrian. I also wonder if it's necessarily singular or plural, but they probably would have mentioned if it could have been plural. But Melisandre and Tyrion both see the value in allying with Jon Snow, so that's awesome. Might get off to a bit of a rocky start if she immediately asks him to bend the knee, but it's better to come in from a position of strength on her part, I guess. I really like that Tyrion's last line in the letter that was that dwarves are always bastards in their father's eyes. I'm pretty sure that was like episode 1, if I'm not mistaken. Great callback. Great memory on both of their parts for remembering that. Like, do you remember what you said to someone you met for like a couple weeks, like 6 years ago? I don't know. I don't remember anything I've said 6 years ago. Jon then gets the letter about Dragonglass, though, and he knows he has to head to Dragonstone to meet with Daenerys. And he does so against the advice of practically everybody in the North. They remember all too well what the Mad King did to Rickard and Brandon Stark. But he leaves the place in Sansa's hands. Looking forward to how that'll play out. Sansa, once again, everybody was actually kind of like trying to convince him otherwise. I wouldn't count that as undermining. I wish he would have talked to Sansa first again, though. This didn't seem to learn from last time. If he doesn't want her to undermine him, he needs to talk to her first, before he comes to like in front of everybody in the entire North. He nearly strangles Littlefinger though, warning him not to touch Sansa. I misheard him on my first watching before I edited, and I thought he said, "Don't talk to Sansa or I'll kill you." And I was just like, "Wow, that is such a harsh restriction. Like, don't talk to her at all. Like, what if she talks to you? You just can't, like, your mouth has to be shut." But no, don't touch her. Yeah. Cersei in King's Landing comparing Daenerys to the Mad King, to the people of the Reach. Like, you're really gonna go there about the Mad King after just blowing up the Sept of Baelor? Actually, does everyone even know she did it? Like, does she have plausible deniability? Like, technically, the only ones who know that she was behind it are probably the children, Qyburn, and, like, the people loyal to her. Maybe, I mean, I guess people assume it's her without knowing, like, without having proof. But meanwhile, she's trying to get everyone on her side. Jaime wants to make Randyll Tarly his second-in-command and Warden of the South if he betrays Highgarden. Yeah, Cersei doesn't have anyone on her side except Jaime that I even remotely want to root for. So it's weird. It's a little hard to... It's like everybody... This show has you root for different people at different times, but now that the High Sparrow's gone, I'm just like, there's nothing... Like, Cersei was working against the High Sparrow, so I was, like, kind of rooting for her, but now she's got, like, nothing on her side that I really want to endorse or want to follow. But the Qyburn has this giant crossbow thing that destroys Balerion skull. I had forgotten how huge dragons can get. I remember Arya hiding in a dragon skull before, like, but she was, like, tiny back then, so everything was big compared to her. But yeah, I don't know that the dragon skull getting destroyed is that big of a deal. It's been around since Aegon was, like, conquered Westeros. It has to have deteriorated somewhat, right? I don't know. But Tyrion and Ellaria were getting into it over Marcella. And Ellaria clearly doesn't follow the thought process of Jon Snow of not blaming the children for their parents' mistakes. And there's definitely tension there between her and Tyrion. I was thinking that they need something to happen to get them all to unite, kind of like Coulson dying in the Avengers, but the Sands are all gone by the end of the episode anyway because of Euron. Euron frickin' Greyjoy. Daenerys says she doesn't want to be Queen of the Ashes, which mimics the Tyrion's words from before. And Tyrion realized a little how much of an influence he has on her. Like, of course, the first time we heard the term King or Queen of the Ashes was about Littlefinger from Varys. He'd watched the whole kingdom burn to be King of the Ashes. I can't see how this could ever happen, but imagine him somehow persuading or manipulating or tricking Daenerys into burning it all just so he can be king. I don't know what his next play is, but that would be a heck of a move. Olenna does give Daenerys some advice, though. Just be the dragon. Whether or not that was based on her desire for revenge or if it was actually advice to be ruthless, I'm not sure. But she says, yeah, don't be a sheep, be a dragon. Reminded me of some reason of Maester Aemon's speech to Jon. Kill the boy and let the man be born. So Daenerys is going to have to kill the sheep and let the dragon be born, I'm guessing. But I'm actually not a big fan of Tyrion's battle strategy. Surrounding King's Landing with Westerosi armies while the Unsullied take Casterly Rock. Casterly Black? No, that's not right. I don't like that idea. No one important is that Casterly Rock. Is just there. The gold is all tapped out for a while already by like the season 3, so I don't know how many resources they have. And I don't know what strategic value it has either. Like, the most important thing is protecting the rebelling kingdoms and taking King's Landing. So I don't know if laying siege to King's Landing is the best idea either, though I don't know much about siege warfare. I'm still waiting for Cersei to like bomb the streets of King's Landing to take out an invading force, though. So that's the biggest reason I'm hesitant about like just laying siege to King's Landing. But yeah, after what she did to the Sept of Baelor, I think Tyrion has to know that this would be something she would do. So I don't know. But actually, Arya found her way out of King's Landing when she was following a cat during her water dance training. So Varys knows that route too. He was talking to Illyrio when she overheard them. Tyrion also knows a way out from his time at the Battle of the Blackwater, or he used that path during the Battle of the Blackwater. So use that to get in during the night and ambush whatever army is there. You could also cut supplies routes to King's Landing, though the people would start suffering long before Cersei did. Would people turn on Cersei if they're starving? I don't know. Either way, yeah, the Casterly Rock thing, no resources after you take it, and it's not like Cersei would ever think of running away from King's Landing now that she has the throne. Like, the reason Casterly Rock, why taking Casterly Rock was a good idea when Robb was in charge was that, yeah, it's the home of the Lannisters, but now the Lannisters are all in King's Landing. They don't need Casterly Rock anymore. But yeah, Jaime doesn't care about it. I don't know if Tyrion wants it because he has a fixation on it, and it's like technically his birthright since Jaime renounced all titles. Did Jaime like unrenounce them after being kicked out of the Kingsguard? I don't know. One thing I noticed about Daenerys though, she looks kind of different, like more different than between other seasons. She doesn't look like she's aged at all in the last like however many years since season 1, but I don't know, maybe the makeup is different a little. It's interesting. Anyway, Grey Worm and Missandei, that was a really, really sweet scene. First he was saying how she was his weakness, which depending on the person can be taken either super romantically or it can be pretty hurtful, and it seemed like it was starting to get hurtful, but he turns it around. He talks about how he fears losing her, so it's sweet. Yeah, but there was so much fear in Grey Worm during that scene. Like, we as the audience knew that he didn't mess up when he kissed her. Like, they've both been waiting for this for so long. But then when Missandei pulls back, he's like, "Oh shit, did I screw up?" But then she takes off her clothes. And they did a close up of his eyes when Missandei was taking off his pants, though. Yeah, there was just so much fear. I think both times his fear was just, like he said, losing Missandei. He was afraid he'd overstepped and would lose her when he kissed her. Then he's afraid she'll see him and not want to be with him. But they move past that and they have sex. I had to cut out all the sexy bits, but yay. That might be the first time since Grey Worm was a baby, maybe, that he's been shown any type of physical affection. So, yeah. And in the Battle of the Bastards, I'm pretty sure the episode Battle of the Bastards, I'm pretty sure the Masters referred to Missandei as a derogatory term for a sex worker. So it's never explicitly said, but she might have been forced to do sex work. So this could be the first time she does anything sexual that's consensual. So yeah, I hope both of them are okay afterwards. I don't know if we'll get a chance to check in on them because Grey Worm is heading to Casterly Rock right afterwards. But yeah, I hope both of them are okay. It's funny though because in my editing, right after Missandei takes off Grey Worm's pants, I cut to Sam telling Jorah to take off his shirt. So for very, very, very different reasons. But damn, those scenes at the Citadel. Sam definitely had to try to save Jorah, but his life as a maester in training are just so scary and hard to watch. Last episode with the bedpans and the food and the this time with helping Jorah with the grayscale, and Jorah started freaking like leaking. It was just it was really hard to watch Jorah try not to scream. Again, I kept the scene in for you guys to suffer along with me. I'm very curious just how far south the grayscale spread, though. That seems like it would be hella uncomfortable, hella traumatizing. Actually, it's probably traumatizing anyway. But it seems like now that Ramsay is dead, Sam might technically have the most experience of anyone we know in flaying people. I'm mostly joking. But man, they had to cut from Sam like sawing away at the grayscale to someone cutting into their hot pie. Sorry, pot pie. I'm glad nobody cut into hot pie. But that was a heck of a transition though. Oh man. All right. But hot pie, he called Arya Aerie, and I was just like, huh. She only went by Aerie when she was like going north with Yoren, and yeah, I did before my mind went to hot pie. He came on screen, and it was very nice to see him again. And I hope we can see him again sometime soon. Maybe end of the series, just have a shawarma scene in Harry's Inn, the post-credit scenes of Avengers, where everybody's just sitting around eating silently. But yeah, he tells her that browning the butter before making a pie makes it taste much better, and Arya mentions having made 1 or 2 pies before. Oh man, did anyone actually eat her pies though? Seems like a waste of human meat, of frame meat. She probably just threw them out afterwards. I don't know. But he mentions she sent Brienne after Arya, and he refers to her as the Lady Knight. And she was like, I assumed she was a knight because she had armor on. I'm like, not this again. Oh, come on, Hot Pie. Still hasn't learned. But we saw the talkative side of Hot Pie again, talking about how he can't believe Cersei blew up the Sept. Oh yeah, never mind what I said earlier about people possibly not knowing it was her. Even Hot Pie knows, but I guess it's just word of mouth since there is no proof. But Arya isn't surprised that she did that though. The Starks have intimate knowledge of what Cersei is capable of. But Hot Pie also lets Arya know about the situation in the north, and she chooses to ride home. I'm surprised that she actually went for Cersei if she thought the Boltons were still holding Winterfell. She doesn't know if her siblings are dead. She could take out all the Boltons and make it safe for everybody to come home. But she's headed home now, and I can't wait for more reunions. But first we get the reunion with her and Nymeria. Oh, I need some water. I am out of water. But that was really great. Arya was sad when Nymeria didn't join though. She wound up smiling and saying, "That's not you." And at first I was a little confusing. I was just like, is Nymeria a faceless wolf? Jokingly. So I think in the end, after editing and watching it a few times, it means that's not who Nymeria is anymore. She doesn't belong at Arya's side anymore. It's not in Nymeria's nature to follow, just like Arya's nature isn't to follow her societal pressures, societal signs for who she should be. And I actually think Arya said, "That's not me," a long time ago, but I can't remember exactly who she was saying that to, or what that was in response to. I'm guessing it was probably Ned or Catelyn saying that she was going to be a wonderful lady or something. But yeah, I have to imagine that this short reunion scene wasn't in here for nothing, though. Just because Nymeria doesn't listen to Arya doesn't mean she won't show up to defend her. I hope she comes back for a big fight at some point to defend Arya, though I don't know that Arya needs much help. And I have to imagine what she's feeling. I have to imagine she's feeling what Ned felt when Ned got her water dancing lessons. At first, she was sad, but she accepts who Nymeria is and is happy for her, just like Ned was with her, accepting who Arya is and actually being happy for her when she's learning to fight. So it's good writing. It's just everything comes around. But speaking of which, now that I know more about this world, why did Ned have her learn from Syrio Forel, from a Braavosi sword fighter? There were tons of Westerosi knights she probably could have learned from. Did he think it would be a good fit for her build? I suppose he knew she was never going to be the armor-wearing, greatsword-wielding knight. But how many water dancers are there in Westeros, and how is Ned even familiar with water dancing? What other things do we not know about him, essentially? I don't think Syrio was super famous or anything. The Hound didn't know who he was, so yeah, just very curious. Anyway, we were talking about Nymeria, and one Nymeria comes back, and another Nymeria dies because of Euron frickin' Greyjoy. And just when Yara and Ilaria were about to get down to business, and Euron comes crashing down onto the ship with the thing. I have no idea what it's called. He just lands. But yeah, they're all taken out so quickly. The Sand Snakes all got taken. I kind of didn't feel Obara's death at all. The only thing I can really remember about her is her spearing the guy with his head sticking out of the ground and then spearing Prince Trystane through the back of the head. So she was kind of forgettable, and I was just she died. I did feel Nymeria's death quite a bit more though. I have a soft spot for her because, one, awesome name that she shares with the Direwolf and with the Princess of Rhoynar, the one who married Martell. And number two, because she's Colleen Wing in Iron Fist. Still haven't seen the second season of that, but I liked her. But then Theon jumps into the ocean when Euron has Yara in his grip. And I don't know that there was another move. He did it because he's not all the way back yet, and he fell back into being scared and anxious and just traumatized. But if he had rushed Euron, Yara would have died. He would have died, or yeah, just both. I don't know what it will take for him to come back all the way, though. Does he know that Ramsay is dead? That wouldn't cure him, but I feel like it might put his mind at ease, like a little bit. And what happens to Dorne now that all their leaders are either dead or captured? Tyene and Ilaria. And yeah, Euron has Marcella's killers. That's a pretty significant gift to Cersei. I don't know if it'll buy him the marriage he wants, but I can't imagine he gets nothing in return. But yeah, poor Tyene and Bronn's budding relationship, though. Now that sexual tension will never pay off. But yeah, this was a really good episode. I'm going to give it 4 direwolves, largely on the back of that awesome fight scene at the end, even if I'm not too happy with the results. Daenerys, I'm curious what Daenerys' reaction to that will be. She just lost, she just lost Dorne, essentially. But yeah, really looking forward to Daenerys meeting Jon next episode and that possible alliance. Ready for more Stark reunions too. Bran is coming down, Arya's going up. So yeah, alright everyone, be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube and you want to watch the next 3 episodes right now. Make sure to check out the early access option on Patreon in the link in the description below or over here. And thanks for watching. Bye friends.